Hi all, my name is Pradeep Kumar Pal. Today I'm going to talk about Rollup and Queue in SQL. So I have prepared a short presentation for it. Let us go through that. Okay, let me see. Okay, so before starting Rollup and Queue, let us talk about one aggregate clause called group by. So let's say I have a sales table. In my sales table, I have units sold for different cities, different countries, and different continents. And I want to group or aggregate against continent, country, or city. So I can use group by. What it does is it just adds up all the rows for that value, right? Column value. So it does the aggregates and it does the job if you want to aggregate against continent, country, or city. And to give you the perspective of how we use group by in SQL, let's go to SQL Server. And yeah, I have already a sales table in place. Let me see. So let me just select star from sales table. So it will pull all the records in that sales table. So I'm just running that query, and this is my entire table. So like I have put a screenshot. So this is my entire table. So different continent, country, city, and unit sold. Now let's say I want to have aggregates at the continent level. What I can use is select continent, then sum of units sold from sales table and group by continent. Let us run that query. So now I got my grouping based on continent. So Asia country has 15,000, Europe has 23,000, and North America has 30,000. So similarly, if you want to have aggregated for country, what you can do is you just change it to country here, this country here, and run it. Same goes for city. If you want to aggregate at the city level, just run it. Instead of country, just put city and city, and just run it. Now, let's say I want to group it and have a subtotal based on continent and country. What I can do is continent, country. Here I can put the same thing, continent, country, and run it. So now let's say I want all three. I can put a group by as well. And I can put it like this. Country, city, some city, and run it. So you saw that, right? So for different subtotal levels, you have to execute different queries with the given column names so that it will aggregate it. But that's where the challenge is, because for each label you want to have a separate query. So that is the limitation of group by. Let's see what is the limitation of it, and then we'll see. So limitation is, like I mentioned, for each group label, I have to execute a separate query and to fetch the result. So that's the limitations. But if, let's say, I want to have subtotals at different levels individually as well as combinations, then what should I do? So I need to use some of the more advanced operators called rollup. So what rollup exactly does? So coming to sales table, let's say I want first aggregates at the city level, then country level, then continent level, just in a single query. So how we will achieve that? I can use my rollup operator, and if you look at the right side, this is what it does. And sorry for that glitch. Okay, so here you go. So rollup, right? So if you look at Hong Kong and Shanghai are falling under China, and Hong Kong is 7,000, Shanghai is 3,000. So it has rolled up for China country, which is 7,000 plus 3,000. So if I look at the continent level aggregation, so let's say Asia, Asia has Japan country along with China. So for Japan, it has also aggregated, and China also it has aggregated. For Asia, it has added up Japan all city as well as China all city. China all city is 10,000, Japan all city is 5,000. So for Asia, all countries together is 15,000. So it has added all the levels present hierarchically, city, country, and continent. And let's see how we can achieve that in SQL. So here, if I take this same query, put it here, let me do one more thing, group by, so that it looks good. So now, actually, these advanced operators are used along with group by clause. So what I can do is, so after group by, I can put roll up, and the same columns I can put it. Let's do this and see what it gives me. It does the job, but if you look at the result set, there are nulls coming, right? So what are those nulls for? If you look at for China, so it has added up Hong Kong and Shanghai, and for city, since it has multiple cities, instead of any name, it has just put null. So how to get rid of this? Let's see. We have certain options. So what we can do is take that query, just do this. Just put coalesce, and for continents, let's say for continent, wherever its null is there, we can put it as all continent and mark this column as continent for better understanding. Similarly, let's say same thing we can do for country, and wherever null is there, we can put it as all country and mask it as country. Same thing I can do here for city, wherever null for cities is there, or we can put it as all city and marks this column as city, and some units sold as total sales. And let's see, let's run it. Hope this is correct. Yeah, this is correct. And if you look at this, it has replaced null to different names, right? For cities, all city, and for countries, all country, and for all continents, it's all continent. So yeah, same results, but in a proper manner and a proper look and feel and naming convention. So this is how we want it. So we can achieve this with use of coalesce. So now this is for rollup. If you look at the rollup, what is the limitation of this rollup? So if you look at these, we have at the hierarchical aggregates, right? First city, then country, then continent. That is what it does. And okay, let us see one more thing. what is the limitation of my rollup, right? So it does only hierarchical way and all these columns. But let's say your manager wants to know all combinations of city, country, or continent city, or all cities, all continents. So any combinations they want to slice and dice and want to know where unit sold has some spikes or low. Based on that, they can take some actions. So in a single query, if you want to achieve that, then we have to use some of the advanced operators called cube. So how it looks like? So if you apply cube, so it will give at the cities level, countries level, continent level, continent country level, different combinations, and country and city level, right? So if you look at North America, Canada, Vancouver, then for North America, Canada, Toronto, like that, all combinations, right? So let's see how we can achieve this in SQL. Same thing, this is very simple. Once you know rollup, just copy paste it, just paste it here. And instead of rollup, just type it queue and just run it. See, this is all combinations. Like I said, it has 50 rows, right? So many combinations, so many records, right? So this is how you will achieve all combinations of subtotals for different columns, right? Okay, so now coming to the difference between rollup and cube. So as you saw that in rollup, it does a hierarchical way and it aggregates for the selected columns only, whereas cube generates a aggregate that contains all the possible combinations of selected columns. Okay, like I mentioned, why we need this cube. So cube is basically nothing but different dimensional data set. So we want to slice and dice and want to have some action plans based on data sets for different slice and dice or different combinations of informations. So as I said, for let's say you want to know which combination of country and city or continent and city gives me highest number of units sold or lowest. Based on that, I would like to have some action plan. Then cube operation, yeah, we can use it. I hope you liked this video. If you like it, please like and subscribe, and so that I can prepare more such videos. Thanks a lot.